Today, Haas became the first of the 10 Formula One teams to unveil their 2024 Challenger in an albeit brief 1-minute premiere. But what does the VF-24 have in store for them this season, and what changes have actually been made following on from their fruitless 2023 season? Well, with these renders, we are beginning to see a few of the changes made while they've hidden others, so let's dive right in. Starting at the front of the car, there's a few subtle changes that have taken place with their front wing. Most notably, their front wing end plates. For 2024, they have taken their design intricacies a step further than on their previous car, the VF-23. The design is now very similar to that of last year's Mercedes W14, with the aim and purpose of these changes to help them increase the amount of airflow they can help to guide around their front tyres towards the Venturi tunnels and side pods. I've further highlighted the changes from last year to this year on screen currently. Moving further back with the VF-24, an area which has seen a lot of focus put on is that of their side pods. This is an area that the team have spent a considerable amount of time on, further refining their package after having introduced a concept shift towards the back end of last year at Austin. This is now the second iteration of the Red Bull style downwash side pods that they've introduced. But this time, with their VF-24, they have been allowed to further refine its shape and package. And this is all thanks to a redesign of their low assist structure. For 2024, they have lowered its position to a similar area that can be seen on the RB19 in order to accommodate the introduction of the extended lower lip air intake on the side pod. This is something that was impossible for the team to create with last year's car, as they had followed the Ferrari-style side pod solution of having the bathtubs. Ferrari themselves also ran into the same complications with their SF23 when they too switched to the Red Bull-style downwash side pod solution at Barcelona. But with this being a brand new year, a brand new chassis has been created, and the repositioning of their cis fairings has now allowed them to accommodate this change into the 2024 Challenger. Regarding the VF-24 side pods themselves, although they are following the Red Bull lead, they haven't actually created that crease that can be found on the RB18 and further refined on the RB19. So you could say the resemblance is far more in line and similar to that of the McLaren MCL60 in that regard. Another change that is being spotted on the renders and will help with the downwash side pods design is a big change with where they are housing their cooling or their radiators, and I'm specifically talking about their air intake, having finally moved away from the triangular shaped intake of last season, with them now having introduced centerline cooling to help relocate where their radiators are positioned within their VF-24. This has helped the team in terms of creating as much downwash from their side pods as possible. For those unaware, there are two main areas which teams house their radiators within an F1 car. For last year's Haas, the radiators were housed within the side pod structure, since the bathtubs offered a substantial amount of space, allowing them to create a shrink-wrapped engine cover as a result. But as the team have now aligned themselves completely in favouring the downwash style solution, this meant they had to completely change that for this year's car. The team have now created much more of a centerline cooling with the VF-24 and are now housing the radiators within the air intake rather than in the side pods, as the smaller design would just not accommodate them. Hence why the centerline name gets its association from. As for any other changes that have been made for this year's car, we're going to have to wait and see them when the car actually hits the track, because they've held back on some of these changes with regards to these renders. So like when it comes to the floor arrangement, for example, an area which is extremely important with this current ground effect era of Formula 1 cars, they have kept that well hidden. So we'll have to wait until their filming day on the 11th of February when the car hits the Silverstone track. Right guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this very brief discussion regarding the changes made with the VF-24. If you have, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you all in another Formula 1 video.